So let's talk about the option that you could buy for a CNC machine, or you could fine tune your CNC machine. Apart from the standard machine, I have asked some options. And the first one was to get away from the DSP system and to choose another software to control the machine. I wanted the system to be inside a computer rather than in a pendant, a DSP pendant, because I think that it is really more flexible because you can manage your file. You can, of course, store it on an external device. And if you need to go back and forth from the CAD, from the CAM to the UCCNC system, you can do this. Which means that if you are not happy, you see an error on a file, just before the meaning time, you can just resend it to the CAD, post-process, and proceed to your next file. So I have asked to the company to proceed to the installation of UCCNC, and because they were not used to work with such type of system, but they did it, and that was coming with a cost, of course. Now, I didn't want to buy a Mac 3, which is very well known in the milling world, because this is not today anymore updated, even if it's a really fine software. Mac 4 is not completed, and so I have opted for UCCNC. First of all, UCCNC is working on Ethernet protocol, which is the finest to send some data and to know if they are completed or not, which means that if they send, let's say, 2000 octets, the protocol know if 2000 octets have been sent or not. The flux is controlled, and UCCNC is delivering you the software that is put inside a computer, and you have this card. This is a UCCH3000, and this board to welcome every connection. This is what is sold by the UCCNC, that is building and the electronics and the software and updating it regularly. The other option, I wanted a spindle liquid cooled and not air cooled, because this is quieter for the ears, and this is a 3000 water cooled spindle. I didn't want and didn't need a bigger spindle. As the spindle is very heavy, it starts to put some moment on the gantry, and also because all of this is all time moving, it is simply moving all the machine. Yes, it does. And then your accuracy is suffering. This machine came also with some little option that was totally inexpensive. I think that I paid this $20 maybe. And when the machine came, they have installed all without asking me any additional fee. And additionally, and I didn't ask, they put this bottle. So this is a liquid that is cooling the pot with the air that is sent here. So you have a little valve here. Another good surprise was that I bought a 3D probe. This is a 3D probe. So when it touch here or here, it is sending a signal. And now you have the exact location. On the wire X and Z axis, they just simply built this cable and this plug into the machine. So I just have to connect the 3D probe. Another option, very useful, it is this pendant. It's working with UCCNC. So if you buy one, check it out if it's fitting your system. And I bought this version because there is no problem of Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, no interference, 100% of security. So you have surely noticed that my spool board is a standard spool board with no vacuum. So I have decided to buy this device. There are 4 pads, and the hair is vacuumed from there. You fix these 4 pads on the spoil board where you want, at the distance you want, and then you vacuum and you put your parts onto these 4 pads. And therefore you're capable to temporarily and easily fix some parts to mill it. And especially if you want to make some contour, in my opinion, or you want to speed up your work. Okay, so I'm trying, I make some trials and error now. It's working partially, but it is not safe enough. So you can see here that I have a special compressor that is dedicated to the vacuum. I will explain you how I did this. It's quite easy because the compressor is not normally built to vacuum. It's built to push some air outside. And I have, of course, a vacuum pump, which is more powerful. The story of vacuum is not so easy. For the moment, I need to find out a better solution. It's almost working, but not enough secure for me. But I wanted to buy this option 100%. Because this type of is very used nowadays, very secure, but sometimes it is limiting your milling. They are making some of their own product 100% in the country, and this one is assembled by them because I have seen the parts. So of course they are assembling the machine. The machine came ready to go, and this is one of an option that I bought. Because you have 2 ways to get the machine. First one is parcel service will drop the machine in front of your house. And after you have to transport into your garage or into your workshop. And the second option is that the factory is bringing and the machine will be ready to go, and they will drop the machine exactly where you want, into the garage, into the workshop. So you can see here some mark that I made with some painting, and dropped the machine. And so why I have decided to pay the extra buck for this option is very simple, because if the parcel service is bringing you a machine that is not working, you will think, oh my gosh, I don't know today if this is the factory, the machine is shit, or if a problem occurred during the transport. And of course, the transport company will tell you, it's not your problem, you need to contact the factory. And the factory will tell you, we send you a machine very nice that was working. So you have to make a claim to the transport company. And I didn't want to go into this nightmare. So I have decided to pay option B, which was the most pricey. And I have no regret. 100% security, because the guy started the machine. They make some sample in front of me. They spent 2 hours to explain me the basics, because I was a totally newbie when I started with this machine. And so I could check it out that the machine was working. And I fine-tuned it, but that's normal on CNC machine, but that's your job. This is not a job of the factory. So the result was okay. Now it's time to talk about the most expensive option that I have chosen for this CNC machine. And this may be, it's named an ATC, automatic tool changer. It's not exactly an ATC that I have bought. That normally during a milling, we use different bits. The first one are to remove maximum material, and the last one are the finishing pass. And we use different type of bit depending on the location on the part. Of course, you guess that when you have a standard machine, you have to change the bit manually each time, and you have to reset the system with the correct length of the bit, so you have a constant Z. The benefit of having an ATC is that prior to the work, every tool order, every bit had been measured, so they have the same length and they can be changed. So a lot of time it could be like a carousel. You have seen this maybe, but it exists also coming through a QTC, which is a quick tool change. Quick tool changer is proceeding the same, but you do this manually by yourself, which means that technically you have some pneumatical assistance, like a piston. There is like an umbrella that is taking the top of the tool holder. And if I insert my tool holder here, now it's blocked inside the spindle, and now it's unblocked because the pneumatical air helps to release the top of the tool holder. That's the principle. This is the same type of spindle that is used into an ATC system. What I have noticed is that, generally speaking, people who have a standard machine try to minimize this change of bits. Rather than to use, let's say, 7, 8, or 10 bits during a work, they will try to use 2, 3, or 4 maximum. And also, it is said by the specialized media that this type of machine is more accurate because it suffers less in the accuracy department with some special tool order. So the spindle is special to allow this change of tool order. So you can see that I have several tool order. This is BT30, and what is nice is I have some 32 collets, ER 32 collets, which means that I can welcome a bit with a shaft of 20 millimeters. So that's really fine. I can use a lot of bit with this system. This is a double ceramic ball bearings inside, and that's very fine for the accuracy. And also we have some air pulsed through the ball bearings to prevent any dust to come inside the spindle. This was costly, and for one grand, €1,000 more, I could have had an ATC. But my budget had some limitation and I had to cut the bill, so I avoided the ATC. What I can tell you about the QTC, ATC, and especially this is, I made a mistake because I was a newbie. I thought the QTC and the ATC, I will have an advantage because the QTC, I was believing that it was just mechanical buttons that realize the tool holder. So I thought, okay, choosing this QTC, I will not have any need in any pneumatical stuff. I will not have to buy a compressor. And that was a mistake because, of course, I needed a pneumatical compressor. And finally, when you think about the story of compressor, you all time need a compressor. You need compressor to a lot of work in the workshop. I will talk in another video about all this story about pneumatical because it's quite huge. What I want to say is that the QTC is coming with some other expenses that are linked to the pneumatical stuff. And that's really another story. I don't want to explain everything now. So it's very fast to change. So I am very fast to change. It's very fast. And that's all. There is not only the spindle that is coming with the QTC, there is all this pneumatical stuff here. There is some little tank to get back some moisture, because you don't want any moisture coming into the spindle. And all this system is coming through the gantry to reach the spindle. So there is a lot of work involved, because we have a lot of wire involved here about the cooling system and about the pneumatical assistance.